Sean Lang here with the Fightlete Report. Make sure to check us out as we are covering Elite Fight Night, Steel City Showdown 4, Saturday, August 20th, in Gary, Indiana. Check out all the great content coming your way as we head to the 8th anniversary of the Fightlete Report. And make sure to, follow Elite Fight Night as well. Putting on great events. This Saturday, August 20th, they'll be in Gary, Indiana. And we're welcoming Illinois welterweight professional Tyler Sugafree Scott on the Fightlete Report. And make sure to check out his upcoming fight. He takes on Kelley at Steel City Showdown 4 and 3 and 2 as a professional, and Dominion MMA in Oswego, Illinois. I think you're 4-2 now, to correct myself.
Yeah, 4-2.
So 4-2, right? So 4-2, and you're in Oswego, Illinois. Talk about how excited are you to get the fight? I know your opponent originally pulled out, so if you could explain to us the situation and how you ended up with Kelley.
Yeah, well, that's a crazy but familiar story, right? So, I was matched up right away with Mattia Fonda, who's a super tough guy. Came out of, around this area too. I think he was a top-notch guy initially, and I think he's been training at Rufus Sport for the last couple of years. So I know kind of him, and I started searching him up, and he was, super tough guy. So that was going to be for the inaugural welterweight title for Elite Fight Night. So I was getting really excited for that. He pulled out about a month ago, I think, for an injury. Everyone's pulled out from injuries with me. With Fonda, I believe it. I know he's a tough guy and he likes to fight all the time. So, well, speedy recovery to him. But yeah, from there we were, basically you would think that someone would want to jump up and take it. That someone would be excited for an opportunity to fight for the title. And it wasn't super short notice at the time. It was still, about a month, a little bit over a month, I think.
Right.
It was around like 4th of July weekend-ish. So I would have thought it would be no problem finding someone to step in. But, the first couple guys said no. Then a couple more said no. And then I started to get worried. I was like, man, what's going on? Everyone either wanted, more time to prepare or they just didn't like the fight. I don't know. So, it got to the point where we were thinking, well, there's not really going to be a fight, but I kept training, I'm not a guy who gets ready. I'm a guy who tries to stay ready. So I'm always training. So it's not hard for me to jump back into camp. But, last minute, we had a couple guys that said yes. And then when it came down to sending the contract, they disappeared again. They ghosted. And then I threw my shot out on looking for a fight Facebook page and just said, hey, hit me up if anyone wants this. And Kelley, took it and he got in contact with Jesse and they worked out a deal. So that's pretty great. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice. I didn't know there was a Facebook page for looking for a fight.
Yeah, I came across that on accident one time because one of my coaches, he had sent a screenshot of someone that I was supposed to fight looking for that fight, thinking that they were like ducking out. But it was, I think, before they had actually got the contract for a fight before. But so that's on. And then I just randomly was like, you know what? Let's try it. And he was the only one who contacted for it, but I'm glad it worked out. So.
Yeah, I'm glad too as well. And of course, you'll be fighting your second Elite Fight Night event this year. So talk about how you feel about going in, to this fight next Saturday, and what do you anticipate from your opponent?
Well, Kelley, from what I see, is it's not a whole lot of time to study, right? So. Can't really focus too much on what he's going to do. It's more what I'm going to do. But I know he's got like close to 40 professional fights. So so it's a lot of experience, win, loss, draw. He's been in there and it shows that he doesn't care. It shows that he's not easily intimidated. So that's kind of exciting to go in with someone that's, kind of a wild card like that. And that's probably seen a little bit of everything. So that gives me a little bit of a challenge to, try and show him something that he hasn't seen before. Last fight night went great for me. Got knockout of the night with a clean standing elbow. That's a finish that you don't see a lot in pro cards in general, let alone regional pro cards. Nobody knocks people out with elbows. So I'm not going to try and force any finish, but I told you last time that I don't leave it to judges anymore, Sean.
Right.
So I will get a finish, but I will see what he gives me, and it's going to be a spectacular one, whether it's on the ground or standing, but it won't go the distance.
For sure. Against Bernard Thomas, take us through that knockout in the first round. How did it feel to win that early? How did it feel like just to display your dominance?
That was just a great camp. That was the best camp that I've ever had. Everything came together between my mental coach, my Thai coach, all my training partners. I think Brian Akins said in an interview afterwards that when he was watching me warm up, he saw literally we drilled those exact same things. It's almost like what was really famous is like when they did the Masvidal behind the scenes of the flying knee to Askren, right? We trained very specific scenarios and we trained that. So it was just instinct that I didn't see what I hit him with. I didn't know what I hit him with. My body just reacted to the opportunity that it saw. And it was by far not the hardest shot I've ever thrown, but the fact is that the timing was there and, just the clean landing, right? The precision of it, just hit the right spot at the right time, and I felt great,
Definitely. And after the fight, originally, you felt that you and Valanti Atsas was worthy of a rematch. And, talk about that. Obviously, that fight didn't transpire, but your thoughts about him as a fighter that night?
I think Valanti's a great fighter, man. All the respect to him. We went 3 rounds back amateur. I ended up winning the decision. I did end up breaking my hand in that second fight. I mean, you can see the scar right down the middle. I broke my hand in that second round, but was still able to secure a finish. Secure a victory. But I wasn't able to secure a finish, maybe because of the hand. But Valanti is just one of those guys that, like, when you hit him, you can feel how solid he is. Like he's just physically strong. And just built, So I was hitting him with a lot of shots, and he stayed up. So I would be excited to run that back. I would think he would be excited to run that back too, to get the opportunity to take that loss away. But me, I'm not happy unless I get the finish. As you know now, I'm not a decision guy. I would rather be finished and hunt for the finish than coast out a victory. That's just my style. In real life, there ain't going to be judges to stop things. So that's how I go. Oh, we got a visitor, Sean.
Okay. Who is it? Oh, there we go. How's it going, Brian? Ready for Saturday?
Very excited. Very hungry. I want tacos.
Awesome.
Tacos.
That's great. Well, I mean, I think that you guys have definitely put in the work. I know Brian's been getting, eager to get back since he was left off the last card. And
I'm talking about Brian. I've been sparring with Brian for, it's got to be close to 10 years now, and this is by far the best he's ever been, hands down.
Right.
He's landing shots on me. I've never seen him land. Period. And to land a shot on me is what I'm pretty notorious for not getting hit. Is pretty exciting to see from kind of a coaching standpoint too. I've been really involved in Brian's camp and putting together game plans with him too. So it's pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Not exciting to hit with those things, but exciting for him.
Yeah, of course. It's tough to. I'm sure, training hard and doing those hard sparring rounds, it's got to be tough with a guy like Brian. And, how do you think he's going to do against Jordan Wiggins? I
think he's going to get a finish. If Brian keeps his head on straight, athletically, he can do more than most guys in the UFC. Brian is just athletic as hell. And then, you know, in addition to that, he's really put in a lot of hard work, not just in this camp, but, you know, over the fallen through camps, and even more so in the 4 years he was off prior to last year. So I think he's really excited to show off what he's been working on, and you should be excited to watch. If there's any one fight to tune in, not even the main event, tune in to Brian. That's gonna be the one to watch.
I agree as well. Brian is definitely hungry for that comeback victory, and we can't wait to see that. And, you know, how about preparing for success in this training camp? Why did you say that last camp was perfect as opposed to maybe this one or the one before that one? Who made it? Was there someone that made that difference in the training camp?
There's a couple people that made a difference. You know, I've primarily ran my own camps, and I still kind of do. But there were two additional coaches that I brought in. One being Greg, who's a guy I used to train Muay Thai with for many years, and I brought him specifically in to work with me one-on-one on just like my stand-up skills. You know, he's got one of the best eyes for the game, and I think it really tailors to my style. Like you heard me talking about how athletic Brian is, and that's not my style. My style isn't pure athleticism. My style is, I joke with my guys and I call it my mind's eye. I can see what people are doing before they do it. My strengths are timing, distance, precision. Those are the things that are harder to train, that just kind of comes over time and with experience. And I've got a lot of experience, and I still do have secret ways that I do train those things. So with addition to Greg, he really helped fine tune those things, and we both have a really cerebral style that really worked well with me, versus other coaches that are used to more, you know, go harder, go faster, more athletic types. Nothing wrong with that, just not my personal style. And then in addition to that, I also worked with Scott Halicki, who I know has worked with a couple different pro fighters recently as my sports psychologist. So we've been doing a lot of sports psych work. I did a lot for that last camp, and I've done some with him this time too, more like fine tuning. But that's where I've always felt that, you know, I needed the most work. And I don't know who popularized the saying, but, you know, training's 90% physical, 10% mental. But when it comes to the fight, I honestly believe it's 10% 10% physical and 90% mental. I've never felt like I performed to the best of my ability in the cage. All my wins, all my belts, none of them I've ever been satisfied. The last fight was the first time that I've been pretty satisfied with the fight. Now I'm still picking at things that I could have done better, but that's the happiest I've ever been with the performance leading up to it, coming out to it, and how it works. So that everything just kind of fell together in the right way. This one's been a little bit messier, a little more spotty, working with coaches, because may have a fight, may not have a fight.
Right.
You know, different injuries and sicknesses, whether it's me or whether it's the coaches, and, you know, just not knowing. Bernard was a replacement too, but he was a replacement 4 weeks out. Still plenty of time to get like a detailed plan 4 weeks out, not 4 days out. So yeah, so this is coming back to last year's with Justin Lawson, where I think he took it on 2 days notice. So
right.
Yeah,
I think Ronald Rowley said you don't train to be the best on your best day. You train to be the best on your worst day. So
100%. And if I can control my mind into to doing that, you know, then all my days are best days. So yeah, those two have been very what's the word I'm looking for? Necessary, really, for my recent success, I believe. And then everyone else that's always been in my corner, you know, David Chacon, the owner of Dominion, and Brian as a training partner, a couple of my other coaches and training partners, my fiance, all been very supportive. So, so it's going good. You know, I'm not saying that this has been a bad camp by any means.
Sure.
But yeah.
Where do you envision your career heading from here after this fight? What you have anything plans laid out or?
Well, so before I took this fight, I had two pretty big organizations already sending me some offers, being the CFFC and the
Okay.
LFC. Both of those guys, and both of them, you know, want me to fight for them, obviously, and don't want me to fight for the other guy. For me, it just kind of depends on which one gives me the better matchup and the timeline. I got a lot of other stuff going on this fall, moving, getting married. If, you know, it depends on where the cards fall, I guess. Both of those are great organizations, and I'd be lucky to fight for either one. But my stock's on the rise. I'm the biggest draw in the Midwest right now, hands down. You know, people are gonna, you know, have to fight for that too. So.
Yes. And you said CFFC, and what was the other one? I didn't get it.
LFA.
LFA. Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. You know, that's
and,
great.
You know, after a spectacular finish this time, I don't know, maybe a contender series will be knocking on. We'll see.
For sure, man. Way to stay humble, but keep yourself motivated and excited. You never seemed like a guy that was like real cocky about this, you know.
No, I've always tried to, you know, be really, really humble. And you know, I've never been a cocky guy. In fact, I would go to the lengths of saying I grew most of my life not being a confident person either. And I think that's where a lot of this mental work in that last camp came from, is that I'm very confident now, and I know my worth, both as a fighter, as a man, and, you know, as a marketing draw too. So, you know, I'm not one of the young kids going pro.
Right.
I've been in the game for a while. You know, I've built a good legacy already. So yeah, everything's just kind of clicking into place now, and you know, I've kind of found myself, and I know who I am, what I'm worth, and now I'm as David Chacon would tell me, I'm fighting from a place of victory, not for victory.
For sure. And what can we expect on August 20th? You know, how do you feel you're going to go out there and put on a show and, you know, get the result you want, you know, make the result you want happen?
I'm ready to have fun, right? When I got into martial arts, because it was one of the only activities that was fun for me. I started fighting, and I never enjoyed competition, but I did it to make myself better. I can honestly say now I'm at a point where I love competition. I love the freedom I feel in the cage. That might be a little cliche. Everyone kind of says it, like, hey, in the cage is the only time I actually feel free. But it's true. There's a lot of things in life that I feel I don't have control over. If we're just being general, you know, politics, relationships, world stuff, right? There's a lot I don't have control over. But instead of focusing on all those things that I don't have control over and becoming stressed about it, fighting is one thing that I can control what I do 100% of the time, and I can control my drive and my push. And if I can, you know, just remind everyone else that you guys are in control of what you do and how you do it, and that should mean something to them too.
For sure. Well, appreciate you, Tyler, being on the Fightlete Report today. You know, best of luck, and everybody check it out. Steel City Showdown 4, Saturday, August 20th, Gary, Indiana, presented by Elite Fight Night. And it's going to be amazing night of fights. And tell everybody about Dominion MMA if they're in the area of Oswego, Illinois, and they can come train with you guys and be a part of the classes. And
oh yeah, we got people coming out from DeKalb, Naperville, Aurora, Plainfield, Westmont, all over the place. So our gym is the place to go right now. You know, whether you want to fight, whether you don't want to fight, and you just, you know, you want to build confidence, We're called Dominion Martial Arts Institute of Mentorship. We do martial arts. We do great martial arts here, but it's really about developing yourself as a better human being all around. We build up from the inside out, and I think that's going to start showcasing in our fighters that are starting to come out now too. So
For sure. And Brian Akins is going to be fighting as well on the card. So everybody, check both Tyler Scott and Brian Akins out August 20th.
we also got a female making her debut. So
Okay.
my first ever female fighter coming out. So I'll be excited for that too.
Okay. Who is she?
Andrea Van Drew. So
Okay.
she's done 2 Muay Thai fights, both against really tough girls. And she was 1-1 in a tie, and she, lost 1 decision and had a TKO victory in the other. So she's tough and she's mean. She's the one that the guys are scared to spar. So
nice.
So she is she's nice outside of the cage, but I'm excited for that. She's a fighter inside and out.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you again for being on the Fight Report, Tyler, and best of luck to you. Take care.
Thanks, Sean.